There is a type of woman you have met at least once in your life. Maybe at work, maybe at a dinner, maybe just passing through a room. She wasn't the loudest, she wasn't demanding. She didn't fight for attention or prove herself to anyone. And yet, nobody disrespected her. Nobody talked over her. Nobody took her for granted. She had something invisible but completely unmistakable. You probably walked away from that encounter thinking, what is it about her? What does she have that I don't? It wasn't status. It wasn't beauty. It was 8 small daily habits that trained everyone around her to treat her with care. And you can learn every single one of them today. I want to be clear about what this video is not. It is not about being cold. It is not about building walls or making yourself hard to reach. It is not about demanding respect loudly or proving your worth to people who should already see it. The women who are most deeply respected are almost always the softest in the room. Soft does not mean weak. Soft means so grounded in yourself that nothing can shake you. These 8 habits are quiet. Some of them will take 30 seconds. Some of them will feel uncomfortable at first because they require you to stop doing something you have been doing your whole life. But every woman I have worked with who adopted these habits said the same thing within weeks. People started treating me differently, and I hadn't said a single word about it. Habit number 1. You stop explaining yourself to people who didn't ask. This is the habit most women struggle with most. We were taught that if we justify ourselves thoroughly enough, people will understand and approve. So we over-explain. We over-apologize. We soften every boundary with a paragraph of reasons. But here is what over-explaining actually communicates. I am not sure I have the right to this decision. I need your permission. Please don't be upset with me. And people respond to that energy, not to your words. They sense the uncertainty and they push into it. A woman who states her position simply, without excessive justification, sends a completely different signal. She communicates, this is where I stand. There is nothing to negotiate here. Practice this week. When you say no, say no. When you make a decision, state it. 1 sentence, no apology attached. Habit number 2. You hold eye contact longer than feels comfortable. Most people look away too quickly. It is a reflexive submission signal, one we learn in childhood and carry into every adult interaction without realizing it. When a woman holds steady, calm eye contact, not aggressive, not staring, simply present, she communicates something powerful. I am not intimidated by you. I am here. I see you clearly. Try it today. In your next conversation, hold the gaze 1 beat longer than usual. Notice what shifts in the dynamic between you. Habit number 3. You stop filling silences. Silence makes most people uncomfortable, so they rush to fill it, with words, with laughter, with explanations that weren't necessary. Women do this more than anyone. But a woman who is comfortable with silence is impossible to pressure. She cannot be rushed into a decision she hasn't made. She cannot be pushed into agreement by discomfort alone. When someone asks you something that deserves thought, pause, breathe. Answer when you are ready, not when the silence becomes unbearable. Habit number 4. You speak more slowly. This one sounds almost too simple. It is not. The pace at which a woman speaks tells the room everything about how much she believes her words deserve to be heard. Fast speech says, I'm not sure you'll listen, so I'll get through this quickly. Slow speech says, what I'm saying matters, and it will wait. Slow down by 20%. Watch how differently people receive you. Habit number 5. You stop shrinking your physical presence. Watch how many women make themselves physically smaller in rooms. Hunched shoulders, crossed arms, the apologetic lean away from the center of a table. Your posture is a statement before you speak a single word. A woman who takes up her full physical space, straight spine, open shoulders, feet on the floor, communicates ownership of where she is. You are not taking up too much room. You are taking up exactly the room you deserve. Habit number 6. You stop reacting immediately to provocations. Someone says something dismissive, something disrespectful, something designed to test you. The instinct is to react, to defend, to explain, to match the energy. The most powerful response is often the slowest one. A long pause, a calm look, then a measured reply, or no reply at all. Non-reaction is not passivity, it is control. The woman who cannot be provoked into reaction cannot be controlled, and people sense that immediately. Habit number 7. You follow through on everything you say. This is the habit most underestimated. Every time you say you will do something and don't, you make a small withdrawal from your own credibility account. Enough small withdrawals and the account is empty. Women who are deeply respected say less and do more. They make fewer promises and keep every single one. Their word becomes something people can build on. That is rare, and it is noticed. Start with 1 week. Say only what you will actually do. Do everything you said. Notice how the people around you begin to shift. Habit number 8. You choose your environment deliberately. This is the habit nobody talks about. Respect is not just something you command. It is something you allow or disallow based on where you spend your time and with whom. A woman who stays in rooms where she is consistently undervalued teaches herself that being undervalued is normal. She begins to expect it, and eventually, without realizing it, she begins to accept it. Look at the 5 people you spend the most time with. Look at how they speak to you. Look at whether that treatment reflects who you are or who you have been settling for. I want to tell you something I tell every woman I work with when we reach this point. None of these habits require you to become someone different. They require you to stop abandoning who you already are in the presence of other people. The woman who is impossible to disrespect is not a harder version of you. She is a more complete version of you. The version that stopped making herself smaller to make other people comfortable. You have been doing that for a long time. I know because almost every woman I have ever worked with has been doing it too. And the moment you stop, the moment you hold the eye contact and speak slowly and let the silence sit and say no without 3 paragraphs of explanation, the room changes. Not because you became louder or more demanding, but because you became more fully, unmistakably yourself. And that quiet completeness, is the thing nobody can disrespect. If one of these 8 habits landed differently than you expected, if one of them named something you have been doing without realizing it, leave me a comment. Tell me which one. I read every single one. And if you know a woman who has been letting people treat her as less than she deserves, please share this with her. Because sometimes all it takes is someone naming the habit for everything to shift. Subscribe for honest conversations every week. I will see you in the next one.
testosterone, SHBG, estradiol, and CRP before you decide to start. A 2020 systematic review reveals the strongest effects in men over 50. That's you. We will focus on synthetic management. This is the standard of care. Let's be clear. The information exists. The distribution system doesn't. Over 50, low fruit and nut diet, low free T, normal total T, elevated estradiol, joint inflammation, poor vitamin D response. Through dual mechanisms, it optimizes active testosterone. Experience a significant 29% increase in just 7 days.